Welcome to the Biz Podcast, your number one source for all business news.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the B2B Vault, the Biz Podcast, sponsored by Nationwide Payment Systems. And today we have a great guest, Ed Ceballos, Vice President, Partner Ecosystem at Everflow, a partner marketing platform, which I'm excited to hear about today. And he's in Orlando, Florida, close to Fort Lauderdale, where I am. So it's kind of cool to meet Ed, and welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Adam. It's great being here.
And, we're going to be talking about some topics related to driving revenue with performance partnerships and related, to B2B. We're going to talk about B2B, what's the difference between B2B and B2C. And are you ready to dive in?
I am indeed.
Okay, so, B2B, it's always a thing with marketing with me, especially when I hire people to work in the office and we start talking about marketing, we talk about, advertising or whatever we're doing. And so, tell us how do you, when you're talking to somebody that's in marketing, how do you explain that, I always, the difference between B2B and B2C is basically two different things. So how do you deal with that?
They are indeed very different in many aspects, but they are very much alike in one aspect. So where they're different is B2B sales processes are relationship driven. They have longer sales cycles, multiple touch points, and personalized engagements, which might include activities like lead qualification, proposal negotiations, customized contract, which is very common as well. Now, when you look at B2C sales, those are transactional and rely heavily on mass marketing, e-commerce, and impulse-driven decisions. What else? Well, also B2B deals typically focus on long-term value and ROI, which is the main manifestation of value, while B2C prioritize quick conversions and repeat purchases. Um, and I think the last difference that matter is pricing, because B2B pricing is often negotiated, where B2C has fixed pricing models and rely heavily on discounts and promotions. That's where they're different. Now, just for the sake of the fun, a point of contention, many people insist that B2B purchases are free from the emotional and irrational elements of B2C transactions. And I think it's not true. People buy products they like from people they trust, and they are heavily influenced by the people whose opinion they respect. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's important, I think one thing that we notice in our business over the last few years, and COVID kind of accelerated that even further, is that I split my customers up into two age categories. So 40 to 45 is kind of the middle. The people above that will definitely see something, send you an email, or pick up the phone and call you. People below are looking to do their research online, and they're going to look things up and do their research there and then buy. They'll sign up with Square, Stripe, PayPal, anything they can just click online and sign up with and jump through as few hoops as possible. And some of those businesses it works out for, and then sometimes they find themselves in trouble or they get a note, sorry, we do not support your business type. That's where we come in. So, do you find that with the age groups that their buying habits are a little different?
Yeah, I agree completely. I believe that those habits have changed a lot. I remember around 2012, 2014, there was this amazing LinkedIn research that shows that more than 75% of the buyers will will prefer to do most of the research on their website, on the digital properties, before they are willing to engage with a person. So the moment you sit and speak with them, they already quote unquote know about your product, and that trend has only intensified, and that clearly drives what is the taxonomy of digital properties today, what is the type of content you need to have, what are the resources you want to make available to those clients, to those prospects and leads coming to them, because they expect to find key answers in a very easy way and with not a lot of effort. And that's why you see that gated B2B content has mostly disappeared. We can argue that in some industries is still there is value, but in most cases, gated content has disappeared. You want to make it simple for them, following that principle that Gary Vee started voicing in the around 2010, which is give, 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 and you eventually will get.
Oh yeah, well, I always say there's no free lunch. People will say, "Oh, I'm getting this for free." No, no, there's always a catch.
Yeah. But that's the value exchange. Like if they don't want to talk to you unless they had a first sense that your product is fit, the
Right.
best thing you can do is let them learn about your product in a very easy way with the lowest possible friction. And when they are happy about what they're seeing, they will be ready to reciprocate and say, "Okay, let's talk. I have answer. I have questions for you. I want to hear your answers."
Right. So, yeah, that's, I think it's a pretty interesting. So what are the three best practices B2B companies can use today?
Hmm. Um, I have no doubt that the most efficient customer acquisition motion today for any B2B business to business company is a referral program. And it honestly surprised me so few companies use it. For the sake of clarity, let me clarify, let me state this. What is not a B2B referral program? It is not a partner portal. It is
Right.
not a refer a friend and win approach. And certainly it is not something partnership people will do. Instead, the way I see it is a process in which every customer and market facing person in the organization participates. That's the first one. The second one is tap into your ecosystem. When you look at most sales processes, they have a pretty obvious interest in connecting with people directly involved in the buying life cycle. But I would suggest to put a special emphasis in identifying and partnering with companies involved in the adoption or use life cycle, such as service providers, consultants, agencies, other SaaS companies. These stakeholders are uniquely positioned because they're usually walking along your future clients while they are experiencing the need or the problem. So they have a very good vantage point and they can give you insights and recommend your product. Um, the third is partner with publishers who can help you amplify your market reach, or like a word game, reach the right market.
Right.
A good example is content partners, comparison websites, services, marketplaces are good partners offering or card linking partners is another great example,
What kind of
as they can
linking?
card linking offers or CLO, card linking offers partners is another great example because they can help you reach high credit limit business card users like CFO, CEO, or purchasing managers. These type of publishers will be very happy to work on a performance basis, um, which means that you don't have to put money unless there is an actual conversion.
Yeah,
The only exception,
I've talked to some platforms and they're like, "Oh, well, give us $2,500." And, I'm like, no, 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 no. We don't want to do that. We want to,
Well,
we'll partner with you. We'll provide content to you, and you can use the content. And if we get referrals from your network, you'll get ongoing residual income and make a lot more than one time $2,500 from us. And we're willing to
yeah.
do because that way we both have skin in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say that most of these performance partners are very happy to work in that format, because it's like the rewards are commensurate with the risk. Um, what you describe happens mostly with content partners, because for content partners, it's not uncommon that they will want to get some upfront fees to pay for the development of the content, some initial amplification with the media for that content to start getting some traffic. It's kind of a kickstart the thing. But the examples I was giving you, like CLO partners, like the rewards collection, those are partners that are willing and ready to work 100% on a performance basis.
Right. Yeah, we've had a few people approach us and say, "Oh, link your podcast up to our website," which we've done a couple. We just did one recently, and somebody else offered me to link my blog up to their website. But we'll see where if we get traffic from there or not over time. So,
Yeah, that would change a lot because of what happened last year with the Google search engine changes. They
right.
basically hammer everyone on the search results. But the traditional play in the last 10 years has been optimizing your content towards the search engines. And so there was a lot of appetite on getting back links, on getting traffic to you, and it was mutually beneficial. I think that everyone doing content, especially these players like the ones that approach you, content partners, are still trying to figure out how to be relevant um, in this new scenario.
What's you talk about in the information that you sent me? What's capital efficiency and why is that so crucial?
Um, why is this crucial? Well, I can use our own example, like what we do at Everflow. We're a business to business SaaS platform. In our case, referrals from partners have a higher conversion rate. In our case, partner source leads enjoy that 2.3 times higher conversion rate compared to every other lead from inbound and outbound channel. And second, partner source leads close 3.3 times faster. This is true for us. Some other companies might have smaller or bigger numbers, but like they close really faster. That's a massive increase in productivity for our sales reps. Think like instead of closing in 90 days, you close in 30 days. That means that you're going to be reaching your annual quota by end of Q3, and you have the rest of the quarter Q4 to kick it out of the park.
Yeah, and it's definitely we notice when we get a referral, we close it a lot faster. Some of my referral partners, they're like, "Oh, I want to learn the business." I'm like, "Okay, I'm doing this for 25 years. Like, I can't give you like the Spock mind meld, zzz, and I download all the information into your brain. There's just payment processing, with AI and then just technology in general. And I'm sure you see it in your business too. Everything is moving at we're moving at the fastest rate that I've ever seen as far as like changes going on in technology. The quickness that everything is moving at right now is just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, you when you were mentioning that example, something that comes to mind. When you look at every business to business sales organization, it's very difficult to scale B2B sales teams. Like great seasoned account executives are hard to recruit, and training new account executives takes time. Um, so that's always a challenge. And if you look at the cost of user acquisition using paid media, that cost just keeps trending up. Google and Meta have almost double the revenue in the last 3 years, but there was
Right.
only a 20% increase in monthly active users. So it's very expensive to acquire clients using paid media, and it's hard to get a sales team that is scaling because like you have these great 5 sales reps. It's hard to get 10 of these great sales rep, right?
Right.
And it's hard to use money for that because your media buying budget is limited. Um, so I would say those are two really big drivers for companies to think more on why they should be using performance partnerships. And the beauty is that that portion of client acquisition that you do with these partners can be really greatly optimized to accelerate the partners driving those high value or high converting clients. You can literally add more fuel there to improve more speed. And which means that at the end of the day, if you look at any client acquisition motion or strategy in any go-to market of any SaaS and any B2 business company, you want to de-risk your go-to market. So adding performance partners is a way of diversifying your client acquisition sources.
Right. And what about AI? How do you think that's going to play out? Like all of a sudden I see every other day there's another company. I just watched a huge launch by this company for their AI, and you can build this AI and you can use it for you can build one AI, use it as a chat bot. You can set it up on your website to talk to people. You can have it answer have it go to a phone number, and they'll answer the phone, and you just program in like whatever you want it to say. And there was like 8 things this AI robot thing could do. It's just crazy. Like, that when you that's not AI is not automation. I'm not talking about like you answer the phone and you hear the person say, "Hi, welcome to Nationwide Payment Systems. Press 1 for sales, press 2." No, it's somebody you can have a complete conversation with. It's pretty
Yeah,
crazy. But do you think like people are gonna like that when they go to a website when they see an AI on there, or people are gonna think like, "Hey, this is very cheesy."
um, this is another technology disruption, right?
Right.
I personally believe is the biggest disruption we will experience as humans, even bigger than the internet or the industrial era, is going to be the biggest thing in our history. Now, we still need to see where this will go. We as humans have it's very hard for us to think exponentially. We tend to think linearly. A good way to put this is um, when you think about the first cars, people were imagining cars like a carriage that instead of having horse was having an engine
Right.
until there was a true disruption and the true value and opportunity for having different vehicle types was actually developed. Today, I think that beyond the fancy chat piece, there are some interesting implementations. Interestingly, on the side of automation, especially AI agents. I think AI agents are inevitable, will be the shortest time to value implementations of AI. Um, but it's still very early. It's a technology we are all learning to use it. There are some already funny cases, like a super famous AI company, one of the top 3 leaders who have been posting job search ads in the last month, asking people to not use AI to apply, which here goes the irony, or cases of a buy now, pay later company, one of the
Right.
top 4 buy now, pay later, who went on last year to fire everyone in customer service to replace with agents, only to miserably retreat a couple of weeks ago and start rehiring people. So yes, it's a new technology, but the potential is undeniable. It's going to be massive. It's going to be an incredible transformation, and we're still we're just seeing the early stages, and it's here to stay because the potential is incredible.
Yeah, I guess, it's more or less kind of a thing where you have to try it out. I mean, we use AI every day in the office. I mean, to help with writing. We actually deployed an AI on our website to do the SEO, and we went from a score of about an 8 to a 95 in a matter of a couple of weeks. I mean, that's just literally insane that because you're not having to type all this stuff. I mean, I would not hit the button on it and go, yeah, fix everything, boom, and hit that button. I'd be too scared. I have too big of
Yeah.
a website and they tell you not to do it, even though it says it can do it. But I mean,
Yes. Like,
but I'm just saying a tool like that, you're talking about it marked in like we got a report after using it for a month and it says, oh, you saved like 10 weeks of work. That's crazy, right?
yeah, there are so many disruptions coming down the road. They are inevitable, right?
Yes.
But it's still like one of the interesting things about any disruption of any technology is that the biggest disruption rarely happen uh, or are driven by the natives on that industry. Is disruption driven by people not native to that industry. So the biggest payment disruption didn't happen because of payment experts, right? It was people thinking out of the box. The
Right.
biggest disruption in healthcare, it was led by people not native to the healthcare industry. And so I think that we have to go a couple of cycles until we start seeing the biggest opportunity for AI, and then we happen. And just like in the 90s, a lot of us started saying digital camera, and the
Right.
kids born in the 90s, they will just say camera because there is only one type. So they are
Right.
digital natives, while I was an immigrant to the to the digital universe, not a native. You will see a lot of people who will be native to AI, and they will be able to see the potential with true disruption in a way that we, the people who have a different paradigm in our heads, might not be able to do. Make sense?
Yeah, that's probably I think that's true. Like kids today, they're born with a phone in their hand, right? And then they think of like I think about things, I have to write it down or type it up, right? But younger people, like they're doing it in their head more because that's just I'm used to like, oh, it's here and now I'm putting it there. They're just putting it on the screen, right?
Yeah.
Like that. So if you're going to leave us with three actionable things a business can do to help them grow, what would be three things a B2B company can do today? What would be three suggestions?
Well, the first one, I definitely would say start your referral partner program. Referral partners program will help you in tapping the power of the network effect. And there is a lot of power in using that because you're tapping on you're tapping on the power of all these people using your product, your service, and they have a unique perspective and it will help you um, craft better content that will be more relevant and meaningful to the prospects coming to your website. So definitely using referral partners will help in creating proof of concept for the best content and and all form of partnerships, not only referral partners, but service partners, agencies, consultants, etc., will definitely help you tap on the network effect. Um, at the end of the day, you want the highest percentage of your clients coming to your website and telling you, I heard about you, someone mentioned you to me, or I read an article mentioning you. So if you can build that network and if you can tap in the network effect by connecting all the people that are involved in that ecosystem, and there are different ways to add value to each of them, so they will want to connect with you. You're building something that is very organic, very capital efficient, and it requires dedication, but it's very doable. We've done it ourselves. We have a case study where we're telling on that white paper how we have done it. Today, we get 50% of our revenues coming from partner source leads. You can also look at the HubSpot case study. HubSpot is a company, it's a CRM, SaaS company making well above $1 billion a year in ARR. So it's also a great case study that you guys can look and get some ideas. And ultimately, if you don't know where to start, get a marketing agency, and there are many good partners, agencies out there who can help you get that going.
All right. Anything else you want to add to the podcast today?
No, that could be all. I really appreciate you having me and appreciate the opportunity to talk to your audience.
Well, I enjoyed the conversation today, and thank you for Ed Ceballos from Everflow.io. If you want to check out his website, you can also connect with Ed on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn. And thank you for listening to the podcast today. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. Follow us on LinkedIn. You can connect to me on LinkedIn. And thank you, everybody, for joining us on the podcast. Peace out and carpe diem.